I just returned from the NAMM show, and before the NAMM show, I was in a studio session down in San Diego. I've been gone for like a week and a half. I am completely exhausted, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to say thank you. So NAMM 2025 was a lot of firsts for me, and maybe if they even weren't firsts, they were first time in a long times, plural. I don't know if that's plural or not. I haven't been like really anchored to a particular booth at a NAMM since I was the artist rep for Joey Sturgis Tone's plugins, JST plugins back in 2017, right? 2016, 2017. And usually I'm the guy who's just walking around everywhere. I'm the floating butterfly of the NAMM show. And this year was different because I was working the Marshall booth, and I told everyone, and the amount of you that stopped by to say hello and to check stuff out was incredible. It was heartwarming. It was humbling. Thank you if you stopped by the Marshall booth and took a picture with me or just said hi. It was really, really humbling, guys. And segueing from that into the thing that you guys all mentioned universally is the whole Mesa Boogie thing. And I would just like to take this opportunity to thank Nathan at Amps, Pedals, and Pickups. I will link down below to the video and to his channel. Please go give him a sub. He does great work over there. My therapist says I am not vulnerable enough, so this is me trying to be more vulnerable. That video came at a time when I was feeling very kind of pessimistic about where I was in the YouTube world and kind of my place in all of this crazy internet thing. And the last few videos I had released was the comment sections were pretty hateful and negative. And I was just like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore, to be totally honest. And the Mesa Boogie thing came out, or, became public, and everyone's reaction was completely not what I was expecting. Now, for me, that had happened 6 months previous, right? That happened 6 months ago. And I was heartbroken. I actually did make a video explaining the whole situation at that time. But with the new stuff not having come out yet, the 2C Plus and the rectifier, it didn't really have the proper context, and it really came off as whiny. And I didn't want to communicate that. And so I deleted the video and I never put it out, and I just let it go. But I was heartbroken, and the fact that Nathan took the time to make such a concise video about the entire situation was really, really incredible of him. He didn't have to do that. I don't know Nathan, and he has incredible content. He's a gear nerd like the rest of us. And so Nathan, thank you so much for telling the world the story that I couldn't. So staying on the topic of NAMM 2025, I was blessed enough to be able to take my father, Greg, for his first NAMM. Now, it was incredibly funny to constantly see his reactions to various things. And I want to shout out Eric Hammond from Paul Reed Smith and PRS Guitars for inviting me and Dad to the PRS party at the House of Blues. Now, keep in mind, my dad has not seen a concert since he saw AC/DC open up for Ted Nugent in 1978. Yes, that was an actual tour. They were on the Power Age cycle, and Ted Nugent was on the Double Live Gonzo album cycle, I believe. And so he hasn't been to a show in almost 50 years, which is crazy. So we go to the PRS party and we're really enjoying the show. We're having a drink and everyone's having a great time. And my dad is an old Hendrix guy, and all the music he was just really enjoying. But then it was hilarious to watch his real-time, genuine reaction, because he doesn't know who John Mayer is. He's never heard of John Mayer or any of these guitar folks. So John plays a set for the PRS party. And it was, I believe it was in the middle of the song Gravity. And my dad very genuinely and innocently turns to me and goes, "This guy's really good." That was such a moment for me, watching him experience things for the first time that we all kind of, already know or have heard of, or, he's just not in my world ever. And so for him to see John Mayer for the first time and just go, "Wow, this guy's really good," was incredible. And then the following day, we were up in the Ernie Ball offices waiting for me to do press for my new Sterling Ernie Ball Music Mans that I can finally talk about. And I get done with press and we're walking by one of the rooms, and he just starts BSing with John Petrucci, not because he has any idea who John is, but because John said hi to me and I said, "Oh, meet my dad." And then they immediately start conversing and hanging out for like 15 minutes with John Petrucci. And I'm like, "Hey Dad, we gotta go." But he has no idea who John is. So he's just having a really great conversation about the music industry and the kind of vibe at NAMM. Where else could that have happened but NAMM 2025? So I was just, that was having my dad have those moments in front of me, I'm extremely thankful for. And that leads me into thanking Tim Dove, Brian Ball, and the entire Ernie Ball Music Man crew. They have always been so wonderful for me, and they let me always go up and use the private bathrooms and have access to all the private fridges with the good drinks, with the Coke Zeros and the cold waters. They are such a family. Shout out to Britt and Will and Tomas, Ryan McLean, Robert, Drew. All of them are such class acts, and I have never been more proud to be on an artist roster than I am for Ernie Ball Music Man and the Sterling family, the Park brothers, of course, Eddie. Everyone is just so wonderful to work with. I'm eternally humble and thankful for them. And last but not least, the biggest love, the biggest, most humble thank you to Steph Carter and the Marshall family for having me and my dad down at NAMM. Dad and I were kicking around the idea of getting him to NAMM, and he was looking at hotels and flights, and it wasn't totally last minute, but it definitely wasn't planned as well as it could have been. And it was Steph and Marshall who were like, "Oh yeah, well, we got you, Dad. Like, he can just have one of the rooms that we already booked at the Marriott. It's great. It's fine. Yeah, we got him a badge too. No problem." I was like, well, who does that? He offers no intrinsic value, he's not actively showing people amps, but what he was a vibe setter, and they recognized that. So everyone at the Marshall booth, everyone was incredible. All of the artists that played were incredible. It was such a good time, and the vibes were just amazing. They were really amazing. That's because of you guys and everyone who stopped by. I was just repeatedly humbled and just so stoked to be a part of that entire thing. So thank you. Thank you to everybody who came out. Yeah, I guess I'll get back to making videos. I'm taking this week off. I mean, except for this, obviously. I am so tired and exhausted and underslept, but recovering nicely and hydrating and playing video games. But yeah, you guys will see a channel rebrand as well coming. You'll see a new logo, new intro, maybe some new music. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm working on a ton of stuff behind the scenes that you guys will see in due time as well. That's all I had. I'm gonna take the rest of the week off. I'm tired, but I'll be back next week with more videos. And with that, you've been wonderful. I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.